I'm a maniac, I watched 2 more movies, and now I'm going to go to bed because it's like 11, and I've watched too many movies tonight. So TCM, my beloved employers, hashtag TCMHQ, was doing tonight, this Sunday, and next Sunday, they're showing several features from Kino Lorber's new Pioneers of African American Cinema set, which looks like a super amazing DVD set. So they're showing several tonight, and then the DVD is released on Tuesday, and then they're showing several more next week, and I'm really sleepy, so I'm going to catch up on some of these ones they're showing later tonight, later in the week. But I watched 2 of them. The first one was Oscar Micheaux's Birthright, which is partially incomplete. They're missing the first reel, I think is what it was. So they had to fill that in with like script notes and stills from the production. But it's from 1939, and it's obviously a talkie by Oscar Micheaux, and it has Carmen Newsom, who's also in Micheaux's Swing, which I watched in January, Alec Lovejoy, and Ethel Moses, among several other actors. And it's kind of a satire on the educated people of color who came back down to the South and how awful they were treated by the whites. And it sort of looks at race politics from multiple points of view, including colorism within the African American community itself, and this sort of way that the Jim Crow South really did not allow much for upward mobility. And it was really fascinating and had some scenes that, like, so these were race films that weren't really subject to the production code. So, like, this is 1939, and there were some really, really racy dance sequences in this film where, like, at one point, this lady is wearing basically, like, a bikini. It was intense. Beautifully shot film. A little awkward in its, a little stagey feeling, mostly because Micheaux's working on such a smaller budget that you can kind of see where a larger budget and more time for filming, you'd end up with a much more polished feature. But the ideas are so strong that doesn't really matter. The next film I watched is an adaptation of a novel from the 1850s, and lighting keeps changes when I change tabs. It's directed by Roy Calnek and starred Charles Gilpin. It's called 10 Nights in a Barroom. And it's basically about a man who gets cheated out of his mill, so becomes an alcoholic, and then after, I'm going to spoil the whole movie, sorry. After his daughter dies, he comes to realize maybe he shouldn't be an alcoholic and he should do better things with his life. And it's a silent film. It's from 1926. On this set, there's a great new score by Donald Sozin, and if you're familiar with like modern composers for silent cinema, Donald Sozin's one of my favorites. I've seen him play live at the San Francisco Silent Film Festival several times. He's fantastic. His score is very jazzy and wonderful and really goes with this film, which is basically a temperance film and has a lot to do with respectability politics of the time and how being an upright citizen is really the best way for upward mobility. So these were an interesting sort of double feature because one is about respectability politics and like being a righteous person will help you move forward. And the other one is a man who is a righteous person who's gone to Harvard and he still can't move forward. And so it sort of shows you two sides of the same coin of basically like we're all fucked no matter what if you're part of the African American community at this time in America. So really fascinating films. I'm really looking forward to watching the rest of the films on the set. I am also really looking forward to falling asleep. I'm very tired. I've watched far too many films today. So like I said, these are on TCM. You can watch them on Watch TCM, or you can pick up the DVD Blu-ray set from Kino Lorber Tuesday. It also has a bunch of special features and interviews with fascinating folks, and I am very much looking forward to picking that up in the near future. Have a good night.